So many solopreneurs hold off getting started, or they hold themselves back from incredible opportunities because they think they're not ready. Today, I want to debunk that myth because you are ready. So let's look at 15 skills that are going to help you grow your business. Welcome to the Solopreneur Life Podcast. I'm your host, Kathryn Aragon. Learn what it takes to build and scale your own business so you can enjoy the freedom and flexibility that comes with the solopreneur life. Today, we're talking about solopreneur skills that will catapult your success. Take a moment now to subscribe to the Solopreneur Life Podcast so you don't miss a single episode. So, what are the solopreneur skills you need to succeed? I've brainstormed 15 different skills, and I promise you none of them have to do with being able to write copy or write a better article or learn SEO or conversion rate optimization, because honestly, those are offers. Those are services that you might perform for your clients or that you might use to grow your own business. But they are not skills you need to succeed. To succeed, let's start with number one, a growth mindset. Think about this. All too often, when we start a project, we envision this great, big, wonderful, far away something. And it's like angels singing, the clouds are parting, the sun is streaming, and it's just so beautiful, but so scary. We start looking at what it might take to bring that vision to reality, and we get stuck. Largely because we don't have this growth mindset. The growth mindset is that I know that thing is beautiful and far off, and I know that it's going to take a lot of work to get there. But I've got what it takes. I'm willing to put in the grunt work. I'm willing to put in time developing strategy, and I'm willing to learn whatever it takes. Growth mindset is about making mistakes willingly. It's not about, I won't take the next step until I know what I'm doing. It's about, I'm going to take this step and I know things will materialize under my feet. Because the growth mindset is about improving over time. You don't have to have it all figured out today, but you are willing to take the next step to get towards that beautiful vision in the faraway horizon. So do you have a growth mindset? That's the real question. And number two, do you have a work ethic? The work ethic is what we just talked about. You are willing to do the grunt work to achieve your goals. So many times I've run into people who love an idea. They love the dream, but they don't love the work that goes into making that dream a reality. And the truth is, they will never, ever reach their goals because they're not willing to put in the work. What is a good work ethic? You'll hear me talk about this a lot because it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. People who wait till the last minute to do work that they knew needed to be done, that's not a good work ethic. Because why? This year in particular, we had in January, I forget what happened. I think I got sick and I missed a week of work. February, there was a freak ice storm that shut us down. It shut off all electricity for a week. So no work happened that week. It's almost like every single month for the last 5 months, there has been a week that for some reason, unplanned, I was not able to stay on track with my work. But what if I was that person who waited till the last minute to get it done? I'd be scrambling to contact my clients and tell them, whoops, I missed another deadline. But no, I know in advance that this project, this article, this thing, that thing are all going to be due on these particular days. If I've got a good work ethic, I'll work ahead. I'll just get the work done. Turn it in early or just hold on to it. Read it over one last time before I turn it in and fix whatever minor details I see at the moment. A good work ethic is willing to put the work in advance, whether you feel like it or not, and doing your best work on every single project. If you are willing to do the work to grow your business, you have what it takes to succeed, because honestly, not enough people have it. This is a skill that can immediately set you apart. A lot of times, I think when they talk about hustle, I think they're just talking about a work ethic. I don't think you have to go in hyperspeed. I don't think you have to be working on 50 million things at once, but I do think you have to have a work ethic. Work on your one thing, but work on it. A work ethic will take you so much further than you realize. So if you've got a growth mindset, you're willing to make mistakes, and 2, you're willing to get the work done, whatever that work happens to be, even the stuff you hate, you will succeed. I can almost guarantee it. But what is number 3? Okay? Self-motivation. Think about this. You've got a growth mindset? Great. You've got a good work ethic, but can you keep yourself on track? That's what self-motivation is all about. There are so many days when I wake up and I do not feel like walking across the house, sitting down at my desk, and working on yet another project. I just finished a 5,000-word lead magnet. That's a lot of words, and partway through, I just start running into little challenges. Oh gosh, how am I going to handle this? How am I going to handle that? And man, I'm sick of this project. That always happens, especially when you're dealing with big projects. You will always wake up to days where you don't feel like working. But can you make yourself work anyway? Do you need someone telling you to work, or can you tell yourself to work? That's self-motivation, and that's what will keep your business afloat. If you need somebody else to make you do your work, you're not going to succeed. But if you've got this inner drive, this fire that just lights up at the idea of, okay, I don't love the project I have on my plate today, but you know what? I'm going to love it when it's finished, so I'm going to do it. The other night, that's part of what I did. I was almost dinner time. I had worked through the entire holiday weekend, and I just decided, you know what? I don't get to stop tonight until I finish this one last section, because then this entire project is done and I can just edit tomorrow. That's what got me through that last little bit. And it's just self-motivation, giving yourself a little reward, like dangling the carrot. Can I make myself go this little extra step to get to a stopping point that I'm happy with? And in the long run, I turned in that project 2 days early. Do you think my client doesn't love that? Because it gives them more time to do their bit. Rather, if you have no self-motivation and you don't have a good work ethic and you're constantly turning in work late, someone's going to find another contractor who can turn in the work on time. Just be aware, if you want to succeed, you need to be able to motivate yourself. Number 4, the ability to ask good questions and to figure out your own gaps. So many times we don't know what we don't know. Think about that for a minute. Especially if you're stepping into a new field or someone has asked you to do a project that has a component that you're not truly experienced with. Many times you're going to ask a lot of questions to figure out, okay, what do I need to know? How can I step into this bit? But many times we don't even know what to ask because we don't know enough to ask the right questions. Well, in this case, you need to know enough to figure out what the gaps are. This is essentially, in my opinion, research. Can you ask questions and go find answers? Because a good solopreneur, someone who owns your own business, needs to know how to find information. And you need to know how to figure out what information you're missing. So if you're good at that, I am fantastic at give me Google and give me my computer, and I'm good. Because I can go in there and just start asking questions. And sometimes it's like, I'm asking the question this way. That's not giving me the information I need. What if I ask it this way? It's the same question, rephrased. What if I'm reading. I see this little thing. I think that's a gap. What is that? Let me go research that. Little by little, you'll begin to uncover the gaps. You'll begin to figure out what the questions are that you need to be asking. And that's going to set you up for success. There's nothing you can't do if you can't ask the right questions and fill in those gaps. Number 5, the ability to find answers to your questions. What we just talked about. You need to be able to ask your questions and find the answers. Don't rely on other people to fill in the gaps for you. Again, you're a business owner. You need to be able to find out this information for yourself. And if you can't, maybe you should go get a job. But if you can, you definitely will stand out as a solopreneur. Number 6, time management. This kind of goes with self-motivation, in my opinion. It's all about, I'm double checking. No, I don't have efficiency in here. For me, this is about efficiency. It's about being able to use my time so wisely that when I'm at my desk, I'm working, I'm making forward progress, always forward, and I create these empty spaces in my time where I can take a break, where I can go sit on the porch and strategize, where I can stop for a moment and just think about everything I've done and everything coming up and think, okay, what's the next priority I need to be working on? Time management gives you those spaces where you can actually focus on growing your business or on getting the next client or on whatever your next step is. If you can't manage time, you can't really manage your business because that's ultimately what you're doing. You're investing time to be able to drive your own income. So, time management is income management. Think about that for a minute. The better you manage your time, the better you're managing your income. So, make sure you are able to do that or that you are willing to put in the energy to figure it out. Sometimes it's just a matter of creating the right systems. And the systems can do so much of the work for you that frees up the time. That helps you stay on track. Many times I will set up little reminders for myself. I'll use Google Calendar and set deadlines. All of that is to keep me on track so I manage my time better. Just recently, I got some assignments for the agency from one of my clients, and I was just feeling a little bit overwhelmed by the deadlines coming up. Okay, I've got 4 4,000-word articles. I've got 3 1,000-word articles. I'm going to assign this, and I'm going to be writing these, but I needed to make sure that I was blocking my time appropriately so all of this got done, and I still had time for my other projects. So a lot of this was just looking at the calendar, looking at the due dates, and just blocking my time. So I set on Google Calendar the deadlines for each of these projects so I could stay on track. That's a very simple way to manage your time. You might use Asana or Trello. You might use your Google Calendar. You might use an app, a to-do app, where you can set deadlines for yourself and reminders. But it's all about managing your time so you get more done. And remember, that's going to help you manage your income as well. Number 7, multitasking. Remember, I just mentioned I've got this one client with all these assignments. I've got writers who I work with, who I need to manage. I have 3 prospects in the works and another client over here. All of these things are happening all at once. Can you multitask? Can you keep the priority at the moment, the priority, without forgetting the other priorities that are coming right behind? That was partly why I look at the calendar when I'm trying to figure out what is my deadline for this article. How can I make sure I have time for my own writing, for the editing I need to do for my writers, take care of this client, and still make sure these clients get taken care of? It's all about managing your time and doing things, multitasking, doing things at the same time. Anytime, if you've ever tried it, if you're truly trying to multitask and do 2 projects at the same time, you'll realize you'll do neither one of them well. Multitasking is not so much about doing 2 tasks at the same time. It's about setting priorities. and figuring out, how can I work on this one and get it to a stopping point so then I can shift to this one and get it to its next stopping point. Then I can move back and forth among my different projects, giving 100% effort to them, but still move forward on all of them. The idea is to never let something fall through the cracks. And that's time management and setting your priorities. So multitasking, can you do that, or can you find a system, find a way to help yourself do that? Next up, number 8, strategic thinking. Strategy is really what it's about. If you want to grow a business, you need to be able to set a goal for yourself, and you need to figure out, how can I make it happen? This is director level. This is C-suite level thinking. This is not the type of thinking that you did as an employee when you were a manager or a support person in a company. So, as a 20-something just out of college, I needed somebody to tell me what the next task was. I needed someone to set up the system so I could work through the system. But as a business owner, that's on me. It's on you as a solopreneur. Can you do the strategic thinking to decide what your priorities are, what your goals are, what are the activities that are going to grow your business, and how can you prioritize your time to make sure it happens? These are strategies. How are you going to get clients? How are you going to create the campaigns that build your email list? These are strategies, and you need to be capable of strategic thinking. Now, you don't need to know how to do all these strategies. You can learn them. As I said, this is not about being an expert in SEO or email marketing or building a website even, because you can hire many of these things out. But you need to know what needs to happen, and you need to know where to find the information, and you need to know how to coordinate it all. You need to learn how to be strategic, or pull in all of those strategic skills you've already got and just focus them in on your business. Number 9, creativity. Sometimes we don't have the tools we need. Sometimes we don't have the right answer. So we need to be creative about how we get things done. I went years without the right tools to actually run my blog the way I wanted to run it. I just couldn't afford the tools that I needed to make it happen. So I had to be creative. For years, let's talk about this as an example. The year after I started my business, I got a spinal cord injury. I couldn't use the normal growth tactics to grow my business. I couldn't go networking. I couldn't go hobnob with people face to face. I was stuck in bed, fortunately, with a computer beside me. And because I can touch type, I could put the keyboard on my lap and I could work. But I had to be super creative about how I grew my business. So yes, I used content marketing, email marketing. I did social media. Now, as I mentioned just a second ago, I didn't have all the right tools yet because I was just a startup. But I could be creative and I could work around all of these issues because I knew how to think strategically about what needed to happen, and I could be creative about solving those problems. You will need to do that many times. You will need to come up with a strategy that's not what everyone else is doing. You may need to come up with a creative way to solve a problem because there is no tool to do it. Maybe the tool doesn't exist, or maybe you just came up with a business idea and you need to build it yourself. Whatever, you need to be creative. Number 10, you got to be good with numbers. And this is, I've worked with people who are writers and they just brag, oh, we are not number people. We are writers. I don't care what kind of a business you run or what your strength is or what your service is, you need to be good with numbers because you have to manage your finances. You have to manage your income and your output. You need to track the metrics on everything you do. All of that is numbers. If you don't feel comfortable with numbers, and if you can't make yourself get comfortable with it, then yeah, you might need to go get a job because that's a big part of what you're going to be doing. Now, if you've got a family member or a friend who can partner with you, who you can give that task to, that may be all you need to do. But be aware of your strengths and your weaknesses, and don't be afraid of your weaknesses. The fact that you've never seen yourself as a numbers person does not mean you can't do it. This is my little rah-rah, you can do this speech. You can do anything you set your mind to. I believe that with everything, every fiber in my being. If you don't think you're good with numbers, you just are thinking that. It doesn't mean you can't learn it. It doesn't mean you won't one day be brilliant at numbers. You just need to get the help you need to figure it out. Get some coaching. Get a partner to come in and help you set up the right systems. Tell you how to plug and play the numbers. Get the formulas plugged in there so you don't have to do the math every single day. But you do need to be comfortable with working with numbers, because you're going to need to fill in your spreadsheet or look at the data in your tools. And you need to be able to make judgments and build your strategy on those numbers. So are you good with numbers, or can you get comfortable with numbers? That's key to succeeding as a solopreneur. Number 11, communication. Like I said, you don't need to be a professional writer to be a successful business owner. To own your own business as a solopreneur, you just need to be able to communicate well. If you can talk, you can write. I've said that over and over again, but you don't have to be a pro at it. You just need to be able to communicate clearly. So you get buy-in from your stakeholders and clients, and so you set the stage. You build relationships with people in social media. Success depends on communication. You never are going to be working completely alone. As a business owner, you have clients, you have customers, you have people who you work with and partner with, and you need to be able to communicate with them. Which brings us to number 12, your people skills. People hire people who they know, like, and trust. So you need partnerships and you need to build a network. Your people skills will directly impact your ability to get clients. So definitely focus on your people skills. If you feel like they're weak, work on them. If you're shy, you've got to do some self-talk to overcome that shyness. Don't let it hold you back. Don't let your fear of being out there, of being public, ever hold you back. Even shy people are good with people. You just need to focus on serving them, on delivering value. And if you're focusing on helping the people around you, you've got people skills. It's that easy. So don't hold back. Focus on those people skills and it will take you so far. Number 13, sales. Now, I have never in my life considered myself a salesperson. I just wasn't that extroverted, in-your-face personality, the persuasive personality, the person with a lot of charisma. That's never how I saw myself. But the truth of the matter is, I sell quite well, because selling isn't about that persona. You can sell if you can communicate well and if you have people skills. That's why I mentioned them first. Honestly, sales is about having conversations and making offers. That's it. So again, I'm telling you, these are skills you need, as if there's something magical that you should already have. But I'm telling you right now, you probably don't have all of these skills built to the level that you need them. That's okay, because if you just know you need to focus on them, you can. One of the first things I did when I started my freelance business is I went and I bought a book on sales. And I actually have a small collection of sales books on my bookshelf because I recognized this as a weakness. I just didn't know how to set up that sales conversation. And I think my overexuberance showed through, and it just made those very first clients uncomfortable, because I shouldn't call them clients. They didn't hire me because I kind of scared them off. Those first conversations, I was just like almost giddy because I was having this conversation. Oh my goodness, it was just so bad. Well, It's okay to be bad when you're starting out. What I want you to know is you will get better and better and better. Never discount yourself. If you run up against one of these skills that is necessary for your growth and you just are terrible at it when you start, because you can read, you can fill those gaps, you can do research, and you can practice. You can get the help you need to fill these gaps and then become really good at it. I've been told I'm actually quite good at sales. But now, after so many years of experience and really working hard to fill this gap. So, number 13, you got to be good at sales. So, either just leverage that skill if you already have it, or start building that skill if you don't. Similarly, number 14, marketing. You've got to be able to market your business. Now, I teach a system that's called unmarketing, and it leverages the ARC method. If you love that, you need to come and join the hub because you will get access to it as a hub member. But it's really just about marketing in a common sense way, doing activities that you would do anyway. Just do them in a way that points people towards hiring you or buying your products. It's that simple. It's just as with sales. It's about conversations and making offers. So, are you attracting your best clients? Are you keeping them close? Are you making them feel like you have something relevant for them? Because that's how you're going to market your services. You're going to keep them coming back for more. So when you have an offer to make, all you have to do is communicate it and they're ready to buy. Marketing and sales go hand in hand, and they should. They should be joined at the hip because they are the Siamese twins of your solopreneur business. If you're not marketing and if you're not selling, you don't have a business. But you can learn these skills and they're not hard. So definitely build up your marketing, build up your sales skills, and finally, number 15, teachability. Make sure that you're willing to learn these things. So many times we think we have a skill already down pat, and then we go out into the world and we try, like those early sales conversations I had, where I realized, oh my gosh, I am never going to make it if I keep doing this. I've got to get more comfortable with this sales conversation. I've got to create a system, my pipeline, so I know how to take prospects, cold prospects, and turn them into warm sales prospects, I guess. You've got to be teachable. Many times someone will come to you and say, I see a weakness. Are you willing to hear that? Are you willing to dive into those places that are uncomfortable, where you're not strong, and build those areas up? Teachability is the number one skill that you need. Notice I put it last, because I want to end on this strong note. This is the most important skill that you have as a solopreneur. If you have a growth mindset, a good work ethic, and you're self-motivated, those first three, and you're teachable, everything else you can learn. But honestly, so much of this you can learn anyway. Nobody is going to come to the table and say, I'm ready to start my solopreneur business and have every single one of these skills down pat. They're all something that we must learn to develop them so we can use them to grow our business, and something that we have to work on continually because the world keeps changing. The way we communicate with people changes. 20 years ago, you didn't do social media. There was no such thing as a blog 40 years ago, but the way I blogged 15 years ago is not the way I'm blogging today. The way I talked on social media 10 years ago is not the way I do it today, because everything changes. So that's part of what I want you to be comfortable with. I want you to recognize that there are these 15 skills, and yes, if you have all of these skills down pat, like you just got them, put you in any situation and you will do what needs to happen. Tomorrow, you're going to need to adapt just a little bit. Next week, you're going to need to adapt a little more. Next year, it'll adapt even more. Did you ever imagine that last year, during the pandemic, that the world would be like it was? We had to adapt, didn't we? We had to adapt our marketing. We had to adapt sales. We had to adapt the way we communicate with one another because the world changed. That was an instance where it happened all at once. So it was earth-shattering, the way that change happened. But we all adapted, and look how quickly we did it. What I want you to realize is that these skills are 100% doable. You probably already have the foundations for all of them. If you know how to do arithmetic, and if you know how to copy a number from here to there, you've got number skills. You can learn it. If you know how to talk to somebody, you've got the communication skills. You just need to work on honing the areas you're weak, not run away from them, but run into them. I love the book Lean In because that's what you've got to do. It's not about hustle. It's not about being perfect. It's about leaning in. It doesn't matter if you're the strongest person on the planet. It doesn't matter if you're the best. What matters is that you are willing to lean in on your weak areas and grow. That's that growth mindset again. Are you willing to put yourself on the line and make a fool of yourself, to make a mistake? If you are, you've got this because you're teachable, you're willing to try new things, and you're going to get better every time you do them. Do you need to know everything today? No. But you need to be prepared to learn. Solopreneurs are lifelong learners, which is good news because you're going to need to. So just pick one of these 15 skills that you're weak on and begin working on it. And the way I do it is I don't try to work on all 15 at once. I will pick one area to focus on, and I will focus on that one skill, maybe for a year, maybe for 6 months, maybe all it takes is 1 quarter. I'll just focus on it to improve that skill until I'm more comfortable with it. Then I'll move on to the next one. But if you're constantly rotating through all 15 of these skills, trust me, you are going to succeed as a solopreneur. So let me go through these skills one more time. Growth mindset, work ethic, self-motivation, the ability to ask good questions, the ability to find answers, time management, multitasking, strategic thinking, creativity, numbers, communication, people skills, sales, marketing, and teachability. You don't have to have them all perfect, but you do need to be willing to lean into every one of these areas. So what are your best sources for learning and growing? I used to read 1 book a month. That was a challenge I gave myself. And recently I've reissued that challenge, although I've been really busy the last quarter, so I'm slipping just a little bit. But that 1 book a month helps me hone my skills and honestly helps me find those gaps we talked about. SolopreneurLife.com is a great source for many of the things you're going to be learning. It's a new blog, but we are filling it up every day with new content from solopreneurs for solopreneurs to help you grow and learn from your peers. But if you really want to learn from your peers, you need to give the hub a try. Test it out is what I was about to say, because I want you to go and try it out. This is a community for solopreneurs that is 100% what you need to grow your business. It gives you a network of your peers where you can find those gaps and ask questions and get some of those answers you're looking for. It also has monthly meetups, which is where we do training and chat face-to-face, and the training portal where all the recordings of everything we've done and other training gets put, so members have a constant input of new information and can constantly be learning and up-leveling their skills. You probably already have everything you need to start and grow your Solopreneur Life business. But don't overthink it. What you don't know, you can learn. And what you do know will be refined as you use it. So get busy. Don't hold back, because you've got this. Don't forget to subscribe to the Solopreneur Life Podcast wherever you tune in, and visit us at solopreneurlife.com. If you would like to join the hub, you can go to solopreneurlife.com/join hub. Join us next week for another smart episode of the Solopreneur Life Podcast, and until then, stay awesome.